Do you find it a bit difficult to differentiate your product and service? Do you find your customers many times not really appreciating the value that you want to bring forth because they compare you with a cheaper competitor out there? Well, this video is going to give you some simple tips and ideas of how to overcome that and be able to sell the value that you want to sell. Hi, my name is Ramez Helou. I'm the founder and keynote speaker of the Academy for Sales Excellence, where I simply speak at events and conferences to educate, inspire, and motivate sales teams to sell more, sell faster, and profitably. So here's a small story for you. I just came back from Italy, and I spent some time in Florence. And of course, you have to do some shopping there, and I walked into the leather market. So as you can see in the picture, the leather market looks like a leather market. There's plenty of bags. They all look almost identically the same. So what did I do? Of course, I'd walk into the store. I'd ask. This is what happened with one reed merchant. I asked her and said, look, it was one of the first ones. I said, you know, I really don't have much time to waste, okay, and would love to buy this bag. I brought him a bag. I said, but you know that I'm going to be walking throughout this entire street asking because the bag exists. I'm going to ask every single person. I promise that if you save my time and if you give me the cheapest price right now, I'm going to still walk around, okay? But if you give me the cheapest price, I'll come back and buy it from you. Does that sound familiar? Do your customers tell you, look, if you give me the cheapest price, I'll still go look around, and if you have the cheapest, I'll come back and buy from you? Well, anyway, that's what I did with this poor guy. So what happened was, so he gives me the price from 190 euros for the bag. He gets down to 110, drops down like almost 80 euros. I thought that was cool. So I keep walking and nothing came close, but then I walked to this one store, and when I start asking, the gentleman comes out. You can see the store, how it's hidden in the back. There was this one shack up front. I start interacting with the guy, and somebody says, oh, the owner is inside. Why don't you follow me, go inside? So here I go inside of this leather store. And I start my speech the same way I started with the other guy. Look, I'm looking for a bag, and if you can give me the cheapest price, I'll make sure I come back and I buy it from you. Now, the owner of the store asked me, said, you know, sir, I appreciate you sharing this with me, and may I ask who is the bag for? I said, well, it's a gift I want to give to a colleague of mine. He goes, how important is your colleague? I said, he's really important. He goes, well, you might want to consider the type of bag that you give him, because you can go out there. He said to me, something good isn't cheap and something cheap isn't good. It's like, you know, converting the converted, right? I said, this sounds familiar. Let me hear the rest of what he's got to tell me. He goes, if it's really an important person that you might want to consider, if you give him a cheap bag, or if you give him a bag that is not going to really do what it's supposed to do, how long do you think it's going to last him, and how will this reflect upon you? And I thought about it. I was like, okay, this guy has got a point. He goes, let me show you something. He goes, takes one of the other looking bags, and he brings it, and he goes, let me show you what's on the inside of the bag. And he shows me the inside lining, which looked very acrylic, very cheap, and very whatever. He then looks at the strap. He goes, let me show you the strap. And the outside looks like leather, but the inside doesn't even have a lining. He goes, if you put this on your shoulder, what do you think is going to happen to the color of the leather? He goes, you can go out there and keep checking different bags and different prices. But again, it's really not about what you pay. It's about what you get. So I said, how much? He goes, well, this is 250 euros. I was like, geez, 250 euros is a lot of money. He goes, well, okay, fine. If it's really what you want, you know, I'll find a way to work with you. I'll give it to you today for 220. He didn't go from 190 to 110. To 20, and here I was, just debating and thinking, and bottom line, I got it for 200. But conclusion is, I ended up paying double what I thought I should have paid for a leather bag, because this gentleman understood my need, understood how important it was that I wanted to get a bag that is going to actually do the job and not break down and not have issues on it as as I give this gift to somebody and it ends up coming back and blowing up in my face. Now, he did say something to me which is very cool. He said, you know, there is a market for the cheap bag and there is a market for my bag. I've been making bags for the last 70 years, me and my family, and there's 100 ways to make a leather bag cheaper, but in our business, we've chosen not to do that, and we've chosen to give, if you buy the bag from me, I guarantee you it's going to get you the results that you want to get. What a great, and he had such a passion discussing and sharing this point with me. So two things out of this conversation. So one thing is, when you're presenting your product or service to your customers, do you have something to compare it with? Do you have something to compare it with? If it's a physical product, great. If it's not, still you could have ways of maybe testimonials or people that were happy with the service or not happy with the service, or things like that you can bring into the conversation. And next is, if you ever gonna drop down on certain pricing. Now, again, are you dropping down drastically? Are you going from 0 to hero? Are you going from 100 to 50 within just a few minutes or a few seconds in this matter? Or is it really hard for you to give away that discount because you do have certain costs and you do value the product and service that you are offering, and you believe in it that it has that price? So again, this is just a simple thing, because this one leather merchant reminded me of how important it is to go back to basics, and those basics are drop down slow, and more important, you must believe in your product and service and always present and compare prices before you go into offering your just price, selling based on price. So if you just simply follow these simple tools, I promise you'll see a drastic improvement in the way you're able to sell value as opposed to just price. Until next time, see you soon.